Hello again, everyone. I am Gary Gatto. Welcome to Race First coverage of round 11 of the 40 RACEWEAR Saturday IndyCar Open Series Strength of Field race for season 1 of 2024, coming to you from the Indy Notre Dame, go Irish, and the banks of the St. Lawrence River at Circuit Gilles in Montreal. As always, joining me for expert analysis in the booth today, he is my good teammate and a regular participant in the Indy Fixed Series, coming to us live from Mexico City. Please welcome Antonio Estrada. Antonio, we were just talking about this before the race. So many people love this track, including I'm kind of in that neighborhood as well. I'm kind of one of the lovers of this track, and I don't like road courses really much at all. This is just a fun place to drive.
Indeed it is, Gary. Hello, everybody. Yes, such a great track. I'm also not very much of a road course kind of guy. And not because I don't like them, but because I'm not really good at them. But driving around this place is so much fun. And, the setups that were provided by iRacing are really, really good. Like the baseline that they have, it's really competitive. And if you make just a couple of tweaks here and there, I was changing the wing angles and something like that, and it just gives you a lot more downforce, so you're able to attack those corners really, really hard. And it's just a very, very fun layout. You could say that it's probably like 4 chicanes. You could, turns 3 and 4, turns 8 and 9. Of course, the world champions, and you could make a case for 8 and 9. But other than that, it's super fun. Very, very fast. So, these drivers are going to have to manage their tires. They're going to have to manage their equipment. And especially on those alternate tires, they're going to be super fast for a couple of laps, and then they're going to fall off a cliff. So kind of what we would be looking for traditionally, because sometimes there is not much of a fall off there between the tire compounds. So happy to see that is happening here.
Well, the point situation coming into this race, currently Adam Blocker is your leader of the series at the moment in Division 1, 1538 in terms of points. He has a bit of a cushion on Kevin Burrell. Kevin Burrell P2 at 1382. Rashid Craig 1232. Andrew Marquez at 1147, and Jacob Oster at 1066. Looks like in this race we do have Blocker, we do have Burrell, and that will be a direct battle for the championship with one race to go after this. Looks like a pretty safe lead for Blocker, but you know what? You never count your eggs or never count your chickens before they hatch, as a saying we have here in Indiana at least. But we don't want to crown Blocker yet, because a lot of things can happen between now and the end of the season next week.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we still have one more race to go, and if somebody has a drop week somewhere, that could put them back in contention. So yeah, I'm sure that Blocker really wants to get a great result here, and we'll see what happens. We also have Philip Krauser, who was super dominant on the Monday race, so we'll see what happens there.
Well, here's all the IndyCar records you need to know from the real world from Montreal. Champ Car kart came here from 2002 to 2006. Track record is held by Cristiano Damana. Now, we're going off the qualification record because we're kind of comparing what the guys are doing now versus to what the kart cars did back then, or the Champ cars did back then. Damana's time was a 1:19.9. So we are faster than that, boys. And that was measured at the distance of 2.709 miles. I believe this might actually be 2.10 in the sim. So that actually is going to be pretty close. I think still Blocker is going to be faster. The career wins leaders here in the real world are Franchitti, Michel Jourdain Jr. He got a win here. Bruno Juncker, Oriol Servia. He's a fan favorite. He got a win here. And Seb Bourdais each have one. And that's the so it was a new winner each year that the Champ Car World Series was here. And the notable stat of all those winners is that each winner started in the top 5. So track position is everything.
Yeah, no, for sure. Track position is key. And now that you mentioned Michel Jourdain Jr., he, of course, was my favorite driver growing up. I mean, there were quite a bit of Mexican drivers in that time in kart. but everyone kind of veered towards Fernandez, and I was like, no, I'm gonna go with the underdog. So when he got that first win at Milwaukee, that was 2003, and then he got a second win here at Montreal, I was psyched. It was one of the best seasons that I saw, or because I was invested. But yeah, for sure, track position is gonna really, really matter, because although very fun, there are not that many passing opportunities. You're gonna have to take good use and strategic use of your push to pass, because you only have 10 and we have 45 laps. Yep. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how they manage that.
And there we got the track map on the screen for you. Give you an idea of this course. Pretty technical first half of the course, and not so technical second half of the course. Gives you a kind of time to rest before getting back into that technical portion. Turns 1, 2, 3, and 4. All those extra chicanes right before heading into the long straights, leading into the pin and out of the pin. But that, yeah, very, very technical first portion of the course, and very relaxing second portion of the course. And I think that's another reason why a lot of people like it, is it gives, just any type of driver an opportunity to kind of rest a little bit on that second portion of the lap. About 33 seconds left to play here. Blocker on the pole provisionally for at least another 28 seconds. 1:18.6. Kraus 1:18.6 as well. Hillegaard 1:18.8. Crane 1:19.1, and Hubler 1:19.1. We have 16 in the session. Only 14 have taken time. And we'll see if those other two will just decide to start from the rear of the field, which in a strategy in itself here. Turn 1's pretty tight. That whole turn 1, turn 2 area, we see many cars go off there. Maybe starting from the pits is not a bad strategy. 3 seconds left, and we're getting ready to go official. And we're official.
Yeah. Yeah, and now that you were mentioning turns 1 and 2, I mean, especially turn 2, the center corner, that one is a little off cambered, so it can really upset the car, and it's very easy, especially on cold tires, to mess it up. So I'm sure that they'll be careful, and these are some of the best IndyCar drivers here in the service, so I'm sure we're gonna have no problems. But yeah, it typically is a concern.
Well, shall we get the starting lineup underway here?
Let's do it.
All right. You want me to go ahead and do it, or you want to do it?
I'll do it.
All right. He's going to jump in. All right.
All right. So on the pole with a blistering fast lap time, it's Adam Blocker with a 1:18.6. Joining him on the front row, it's going to be Philip Kraus with a 1:18.6, just 10 hundredths of a second actually lower. They're going to be back and forth, I imagine, during the entire race. Then in row 2, we can find Christian Hildegard with a 1:18.8, and he is joined by Adam Crane, who I just saw he's on the satellite racing team now, with a 1:19.1. In row 3, we can find Zachary Hubler with a 1:19.1, and he's joined by Brian Carey in a 1:19.2 from Powerslide Motorsports. Row 4, we can find Michael O'Brien, and he is joined by Kevin Burrell. In row 5, we can see Matt Taylor, and he's joined by Juho Reina from Finland with a 1:19.6. Then in row 6, we can find Will Weiser. He's joined by Charlie Sears, both of them with a 1:20. Then we have in row 7 Olivia Hayward, and she is joined by Pavel Beer. Beer, that's I kind of want a beer now. And Pavel is the last one of our drivers that set up a time, and then in the rear of the field is going to be Alan Brechal in the number 10 car, and he is joined by Leon Flukiger in the number 13.
Yeah, we got to get our umlaut in that one for our German lesson of the day. But welcome, Leon. Welcome, Pavel. Welcome those that have joining for the top split for the first time this season. We are rolling and underway down the backstretch, and then we will go through the final set of corners along the Wall of Champions. I love that name. That's such a nice. That's probably the coolest name of a corner. Wall of Champions and all of racing right there.
It sure is, and it really rewards being aggressive as pace car rolls in and we are ready to go racing.
Green flag, Blocker, followed by Kraus tucking in behind him. Burrell going to tuck in behind them, and his teammate Hildegard right with them. There's Adam Crane.
Crane was able to make it by Christian Hildgaard there.
Reina and it was like Matt Taylor were side by side there for a moment. Walker trying to put some distance into the first set of corners now. First chicane. A little bit of a straightaway here. There's a turn in it, but you could take it kind of full power. Here now into a second chicane here. And we're starting to get onto the back half of the course now. Longer straights. This comes down to what they simply call the pin. Well, here's another chicane right here. And now we're going to lead our way down to the pin.
Yeah, or Le Pan, as you know, the French folks would call it. And we don't want to really butcher it. So, yeah, let's go ahead and call it the pin.
The pin. The hairpin.
Onto the Casino Straight, which has this little bend here exiting the pan. And now this is the fastest section of the track. You're going to benefit a lot if your setup is providing not a lot of drag, as Crane is making it by Field Krause there.
Burrell. Yep, Burrell around Krause there.
And now we're heading to the World of Champions, turns 12 and 13.
Sorry, that was Crane. You're right. All right.
Yeah, no, I also got confused because
satellite cars are looking a lot alike, yeah.
Yeah.
You got to give us a different color roll bar, guys, just like you do in the real world.
Hildgaard got a tiny bit loose off of 2.
And battle between teammates here, giving each other plenty of room. Brian Carey, P6 right there. Zach Hubler right behind him in that very bright rainbow color car. I like it. Michael O'Brien. He goes by the nickname MO because that's his initials, M and O. He's not Emmer like Emerson Fittipaldi, but MO.
Yeah. I'm not sure what happened to Liam Flukiger. He has just made his way out of the pits, but he pitted on the first lap. I'm not sure why.
Alan Boutreau is showing now out, so might have had an incident with Alan Boutreau.
Yeah, Pavel Beer is also marked as out. In the meantime, Kevin Burrell is really catching Christian Hildgaard, and he's going to try and make the move. He does.
Nice. Right into that braking zone here, right before the last chicane, coming across the wall of champions, down the front straight.
Yeah, and like I was saying, it really rewards being aggressive. You can, take as much of the track as you want, but if you make it just a tiny bit more, if you bite a little bit more than you can chew, well, that will is going to pay it back.
And Nelson Gasman Messias is sitting in chat. Welcome, Nelson. Good to see you here. Everyone else joining. You're just starting the first half of the race here. We're lap 3 of 46 on the Saturday Strength of Field race here for the IndyCar Series. Open setup, guys. We're on race first. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for joining us on this Saturday. Good to have you here. And there we see, actually, Hildgaard actually has the idea. He has the different color gear on his car that gives us a subtle different clue of he's a different car than not identical in every way to Burrell and Crane.
Yeah, there are some Chevy logos there on Burrell's car that I cannot see on Hildgaard. So yeah, a little bit of a difference here and there. That's cool. That helps. So something that I'm noticing is Field Krause is now 2 seconds back of Adam Crane, although both Blocher and Crane are on the alternate tire. Now, the alternate tire is going to be very, very fast for around 4 or 5 laps, and then it's going to really lose its edge. And I can imagine that both Blocher and Crane are going to be trying to pit around lap 10. That's when the tires really go totally away. And then that way they can just, split in half the difference and go around 15 laps on the primary tires, both sets of primary tires, because otherwise you cannot really make something work with 2 sets of alternates. But really interesting to see that there are a lot of different strategies into play here very early in the race.
Yeah, as you mentioned, we're watching Krause right now. He has the primary hard tires on. Everybody in front of him are on the softer alternate tires. Everyone behind him, with the exception of Hildgaard. Hildgaard looks like the satellite guys have kind of got on a bit of a split strategy. Half the team, or 2/3 of the team, has gone with the softer tire, and Hildgaard has gone with the harder of the 2 tires. And we'll see how those guys, you're right, make hay here in the next 6 laps or so when those alternate tires start to go off.
Yeah, well, let's keep an eye on that in a sec. In the meantime, I'm looking at, there's a dogfight from positions 7 to 11th, from Zachary Hubler all the way to Charlie Sears. They're in a train, they're very close to each other, and Sears is getting really close there to Matt Taylor. He's going to have a good run here, but not close enough to actually attempt to pass. And but now he gets a good run here off of the world champions. I'm not sure if he's going to try and make something happen in turn 1. There is a space. He at least showed the car, but no action for now. Ooh, got a little loose there.
But Sears, the master craftsman of his hands right there, if you got the joke, or the pun at least. Currently riding along Charlie Sears, heading into turns 8 and 9.
Yeah, now Will Weiser is also joining this fight. They're all very close to each other now, coming to the hairpin. Ooh, good exit there. Sears. Not sure if he's gonna be close enough. He's on the bottom, so that's a pushy pass. Gives you additional horsepower. He's gonna be able to make it.
Sears gonna pull the inside. I think he's gonna get this position into. Oh, Matt is bouncing off of all of the curbs, and he is once again. iRacing physics take care of that. Somebody lost the back wing and all of a sudden snapped back on the car. So Matt was really working to want to keep that position pretty hard, and he might have just decided to let him go and maybe try to reel him back in. It does look like Charlie was a little bit faster there, and that's not a place that you want to fight side by side with someone.
Yeah, no, it's typically a recipe for disaster going side by side there. Happily, that wing popped back in because Will Weiser ran into the back of Matt Taylor there. They got very squirrely off of turn 13. But it seems like they were able to get away with it. But yeah, I think it was a little bit of a send from Sears, and maybe Matt Taylor could have given a little bit more room, especially this early in the race. But that's why I'm not really good at.
That's why we're here. And they're there. If we were entered in this, neither one of us would be in the top split race.
Oh, no, not at all.
There's currently 2 splits for this time period right now. We would be in the 3rd split. That's how bad, or at least I would be.
No, toss me in there, man. I'm not good. Looks like Hubler has caught up with Brian Carey there.
Yeah, let's catch up to that group right there. Hubler in that very colorful car. I like it.
I think it changed. I imagine. I remember that he was running. Maybe it was a Kyle Busch car, the M&M's car. Not sure, but good to see him in a different livery. Well, now it seems like Carey is like, nope, I'm not gonna allow this to happen, and immediately puts in 2 10s on Zachary. See, the closest battle seems to be, that trio of Sears, Taylor, and Will Weiser there for P10. Like, Sears was able to make the move, but that was aided by that pushy pass. He doesn't seem to be, much more faster than Matt Taylor. So, yeah, we'll see. I don't think that Matt's going to be very happy driving behind him right now, and he's probably going to attempt something in the next couple of laps.
Look how fast they take that last chicane. Just look at the wrists, left, right, left.
Yeah, and again, it really rewards being aggressive. The faster you can take it, the better it's going to be. But just one wrong move, and then that's it, race over.
Charlie Sears, a little wheel spin on the exit of the corner 3 there.
Yeah, and same thing happened to Taylor, so they are kind of doing synchronized moves there.
Actually, that was corner 2, to be honest.
Back in front, Blocker is caught some lap traffic. That's he's making his way by Pavel Beer, who I think got damaged in the first lap. We didn't catch that.
Beer looks like that's the new upcoming, I believe, DHL livery that you'll see on Chip Ganassi Racing coming up this year, I believe.
It looks so weird, you know, after years and years of seeing that in an Andretti Autosport car. Now seeing it in Ganassi, kind of.
Agreed.
It's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll take time getting used to it, but you know, it's a cool livery. Not Taylor pitting. So instead of going for a move, he decided, you know what, I'm going to try and get some clear track.
But he's pitting with 10 laps, and he's going off the hard tires.
Yeah, I mean, you can do like 19 laps, around 19 laps on the black compound. He's going to the alternate, so I think he's going to try and do another. No, he's going to have to do a little bit more here on this set of tires. We'll see. I mean, if you don't abuse them that much, maybe you're able to make them last a little longer. And, you know, it's also setup dependent. If he doesn't have a lot of downforce, that's also going to help not worry as much. But yeah, we'll see. That's an interesting
Real
track.
Wiser and Sears into the wall. Right at 8 and 9, missing a front wing element. Let's see what happened there. Was it a racing incident or what? He might have had a little bit of help. No, he didn't. He popped the curbs. That upset the car, and straight on through.
Yeah, too much curb. You can take them, but sometimes they are going to really upset the car. And yeah, unfortunately, that's what happened. You know, luckily he didn't get a lot of damage. It's only going to be a, you know, wing change that's going to take 5 seconds to bits. But yeah, unfortunate because they were having a great battle there.
Back up front, Blocker, your leader by 3 seconds now over Crane. Crane over Kraus by 2 seconds. And then a second and a third back to Burrell. Hildegard, less than a second back to behind Burrell. That's your top 5.
Yeah, and here you can see with Hildegard and Burrell. Burrell was like 2 seconds in front of Hildegard a couple laps ago. But Burrell is on that alternate compound that we were talking about. So now Hildegard is catching up. We'll see how long Blocker, Crane, and Burrell decide to stay on that alternate compound.
Well, Kraus got held up by a lap car just a little bit. Burrell, the general, marching in, getting a little bit closer. Hildegard right there, coming into the last corner. There's the wall of champions right there. Just off to the left of the garage area is the rowing basin when they had the Olympics here in Montreal for the Summer Olympics. And Beer's staying wide. Very, very good etiquette there. Good on him, letting those 2 cars on by. And back underway. $11 of 46 on into this thing.
It seems that at this point, everything is kind of stale. Like both the alternates and the primaries, they are kind of, you know, outputting the same time for each lap. I was trying to see if Hill was making any ground. It looks like maybe a 10th or 100th, a couple of hundredths. Yeah.
Hubler and Carey is going to be a close battle now. It's developing right now. 5/10 between the two, half a second.
Oh, Pavel Beer is spinning out in front of nobody, luckily.
He's back underway, but he's going to have 2 of the faster cars. Brian trying to get a bit of a draft off him. Now we're in an area that Brian does not really want a lap car from him, and Beer gets on the high side like he did a lap before, leading him on by.
Yeah, really good on Beer, and he mentioned right at the beginning of the race that he's more of a GT car kind of driver, so getting his feet wet on the IndyCar Series, it's a tough one because these cars are very tough to handle and they can get very loose very easy. But good on him for saying, letting the faster cars go by.
Well, I think there's a little bit more in terms of even on a fixed setup. This is an open setup race, but I think even in a fixed setup, these cars would have more tools available to them in than the GT cars. So I would imagine that he has a lot of different options that maybe doesn't have available to him in a GT car that's in an IR18. Probably just trying to figure out. But you know what? You never know until you learn, and the more you do this, the more you learn, and the better you get. So we welcome them to the series and hope to see more of them in the future. And I mean, gosh, you had an I rating enough to make the top split, so we know you're good enough. So good on him for just good etiquette, and welcome him to the series and keep learning. We hope to see more of you.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's something that's also going to help a little bit more once next season rolls on by from iRacing. With that split of iRating between, open wheel cars and the team tops, that's going to allow for many other drivers to burst out and try out different things that they typically wouldn't. So good on Pavel for jumping here. Hopefully he likes it. It's a very challenging car, but it's also very rewarding once you get it right and very fun to drive. But yeah, that's also going to give me a little bit of room to try some other things. Although my iRating sucks, so whatever. That doesn't really matter that much. But I am a little bit better on the Indy cars, on the open wheel cars. So I think that my iRating there can kind of reflect it a little bit more than it would do on some of the team tops. So yeah, happy to be able to try that. And I'm sure some of the higher rated drivers are going to be like, oh man, now I can finally drive some open wheels.
Oh, back to Adam Blocker. The Dark Knight is your leader coming through the Wall of Champion down the front straight area.
Yeah, and it shows you how much I know because, I expected, the guys that were on the alternates to pit around lap 10, 11. We are already lap 14, and, they're still going strong. There is fall off. They're going quite a bit slower than they were at the beginning of the race, but it doesn't seem to be that drastic. So the only thing that's kind of supporting the theory is that Christian Hilgard is now 0.3 of a second behind Kevin Burrell. They're catching up. So maybe a little bit faster now and should potentially be able to make a move in the next couple of corners here.
Okay, let's get on that battle right here. Blocker, of course, no one surprised. Purple lap of 120.151. Battle between Burrell and Hildegard. Almost a dead heat. The last 5 laps, Burrell is a 122.2. Hildegard's a 121.9. In fact, he's one of the fastest cars on the racetrack at the moment. Not too many are in the 121 neighborhood. He is one of the few. Of course, he's on the harder compound. And I think he's in the position to maybe make a move on his teammate at the end of the straight. We'll ride along more with him and see if he's on that push to pass. There he is. And his Pi EDS readout right there. Green borders, green flashing lights in the draft. Oh, I think he lit up. He lit up. Oh, and that's why his teammate was going to pits.
All right, there we go. So both Crane and Burrell, the satellite racing team guys, both come into pit lap 15. So around 3 or 4 laps later than what I was thinking. And Blocker is still out there, just going strong. But I imagine that he will be pitting very, very soon.
Reina giving Emo a bit of a challenge here right now at the lap 15 mark. He's well within that draft envelope for these long straights coming up.
Hey, man, you get so close to the wall there on 3 and 4. It's so fun.
Yeah, but you don't want to get too much on those curbs because that will. There's not a lot of traction on those curbs. Ooh, I almost watched. Carey get a little loose as he clipped the grass there in corner entry. But yeah, you try to accelerate too hard on those curbs, and that will upset the back of the car.
Yeah, it sure will, and it might lead to a spin. You can also, kind of go against that by using some of the different, field maps like map 6 that allows for a little bit more, gradual acceleration input. I was, running with map 6 around here, but I'm sure that you can get a little bit more with map 1 or even map 7, which has a little bit of a different curve there. And, these guys are really, really good.
Will Weiser bouncing off the corners there, almost gets into the wall of champions, keeps it off.
And I'm just looking at Matt Taylor. He has caught up with Olivia Hayward there. That's for P12.
Yeah, that Maddox Delara there.
Yeah, but he seems quite a bit faster than Olivia in front of him, so I'm sure we're going to see a move really soon. Ooh, a little bit of a lock up there from Hayward.
Taylor, regular participant in the Lionheart IndyCar Series. Right in front of him is Miss Excitement, Olivia Hayward.
And through this section, it's very difficult to make a move. You don't really have any passing opportunities, and it didn't get a great exit there off of 6. So now Hayward is able to make a little bit of room. She's probably going to be able to keep the position at least until the hairpin. Taylor gets a really good run there off of 9.
No, both drivers are on. No, actually, do we have red sidewall tires on Taylor? Yes. So I'm about to say, I thought we were on equal tires here for a moment. We are not.
Taylor on the button.
Taylor on the button, riding along board with him right now, down the stretch. This is the Casino Straight.
It's going to be close. I'm not sure he's going to be segmented. Oh, there he goes. He sends it.
And very cleanly pulls that off, and he goes to the Wall of Champions.
Man, and he got away with it because that hit with the right rear, so that's fine.
That was a pretty square hit, too. That was a square hit. Looks like Yuno Reina, something did happen to Yuno Reina and is retired, showing Yuno as out of the race. Move Matt Taylor and Hayward up to P10 and 11 there. Blocker up front still has not pitted. 16 laps on his current stint at the top. 6 have not pitted, as a matter of fact. Top 7 have not pitted now.
Oh, man. I was just looking at Juho Reina to try and see what happened to him. Nothing, really. He just blinked out. So, connection issues, connection woes, that's kind of like, whenever it happens to me, I'm like, well, it's kind of like an engine failure or something.
Yeah. It's like when Will Power's car didn't restart at Detroit after that. Had the rain, or the red flag. The red flag that year.
Don't remind me of that. I was so upset. Because, at first I didn't really care about Will Power when he came into the series, but now that he's a veteran, I really, really like him. So, I kind of try and root for him. So I was gutted when that happened.
He is IndyCar career leader in pole positions. And also has 5 500-mile race wins. And you're like, how does he have 5? He only has 1 in Indianapolis. Well, he has 3 at Pocono, 1 at California, 1 in Indianapolis. And he is among the career leaders in 500-mile wins in IndyCar history. So just kind of putting Will Power in perspective for everybody. He's one of the. He's going to go down he's going to go down as one of the all-time greats. That's for sure.
For sure, no question about it. As Blocker is pitting now.
Pit on Blocker, heading to the box, and Kraus is coming in too. Kraus tries to make up a little bit of time there between the cones.
Hildegard pitting as well.
Hildegard in. See if Carey comes out. I'm assuming Carey will. That's a teammate to Blocker. They're probably on the same strategy. Hubler stays out, going long.
Yeah, you can do 19 laps. I think Hubler is going to be pitting this time by. But in the meantime, hey, you get to lead a lap.
Yeah, lead a lap and probably push real hard on this lap. Got the harder tires. So we know the harder tires can go longer. So how are they set with fuel?
Oh, Blocker was kind of blocked. Ha! See the punt by Leon Flukiger there on exit, on pit exit, but he was able to dispose of him quickly. And he immediately apologized. There's nothing he could have done any different. I mean, that's just racing.
Yeah,
came out
sometimes you just catch him at the wrong spot.
Yeah. No issue really. It's just the timing. Sometimes it happens. But I mean, it really didn't matter a lot for Blocker, who has a 4.7 second lead over Philip Kraus. Although Kraus is now on the alternate tires, so he's going to be a little bit faster for a couple of laps, and then they should plateau. But I mean, we have seen strange things.
Hey, and speaking of 500-mile winners, we're watching one right here. Adam Blocker, he was on Joseph Newgarden's team for last year's Indy 500 win in the real world, so he gets a ring. So super jealous, of course. I don't know a single member of this community that's not jealous of that, to be honest with you. To be honest, it's just completely, let's be fair.
For sure. I mean, I think we all would love an Indy 500 ring, no matter what. But you know, that's also like the wealth of you know, how big this community is and how varied it is, and that we have so many folks that are around the actual series and you know, being part of it. We also have the flagman, and I just kind of forgot his name.
Likens, Aaron Likens.
Aaron Likens, that's right. He's a flagman on the IndyCar Series, and he was a regular participant in the service. And you know, a couple of weeks ago at Okayama, we found it was Oliver Askew and Flynn Lazier, and you know, a couple of members from the series that are, like, you know, very involved in the service, in the iRacing service. So that really, you know, puts it into perspective and how cool it is that we get to be very close to some of these members of the industry.
So Hubler on the pit stop exchange goes to the alternate tires and gets out in front of Kerry. So Kerry must have had a bad pit stop. Not sure exactly what happened there, but Kerry's back to 7th. Hubler up to 6th. We're now resetting as pit stops have occurred. Blocker is your leader by about 3 seconds over Kraus. Let's get the camera on Kraus right there. He's at private label Team Hype. They're regular participants in the Lionheart IndyCar Series as well, and called one of his teammates to a near win in the Elite Racing League Warriors for Peace IndyCar Series on Tuesday night. Finished second, but Jason Brophy came nearly a lap away from winning that race himself. So there's one of the power teams. P3 is Adam Crane right there, Satellite Racing. Satellite fielding 3 cars in this split. And there's Hildegard, one of the other cars from that team. And they're right in a row, because here comes Kevin Burrell, the general. And then, of course, we said Hubler back in P6, Brian Carey, another power slide car, in P7. Michael O'Brien, Team Works, or Mad Works there. Mad Works, and that's O'Brien is a teammate with Matt Taylor, who is in the 10th right now. Here's Will Weiser, independent. Probably see him on a team sometime. Matt Taylor right there, or Mad Works, teammates with Mo. But if you're watching, you like this and you want to get involved, just join up. Of course, here on the iRacing service, and get your iRating high enough where you can make these top splits, or just jump in general. Just work your way up the ladder, and join the IndyCar community Discord. Link's out there somewhere. I know it is.
Yeah, and I just saw that, you know, Will Weiser made it by Matt Taylor. Matt, of course, being on older tires now, Will Weiser with brand new alternate, so he was able to make quick work of him entering the World Championship. And now I'm seeing Charlie Sears and Olivia Hayward, they're very close together. Hayward didn't get a great exit there of the hairpin, but she's on the bottom. I'm not sure she's going to have enough juice to make it side by side to the end of the stride.
On the button. What's her wing say? Go Gare? It's like Go Gary? Is that for me? That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Let's assume it is.
Go Gare. All right. I do my best. Every now and then, you know, I've been doing these calls of these races since 2021, and we'll get a nickname out there that sticks, and some put it on the side of their car, and that's when you know that nickname is stuck, when they accepted that nickname. So.
Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry about the ooh, but we wrote that really squarely exiting the hairpin, and that allowed Zachary Hubler to go on by.
All right, let's get back on that action right there. Burrell, Carey, O'Brien, 6th, 7th, and 8th. 4th, 5th, and 6th is going to be Hildegard, Hubler, and Burrell. There you see them right there, all on the main straight.
Yeah, something might have happened there to Burrell. He is, sliding a little bit all over the place. Maybe the tires are a little bit hot because he is dropping quite far from Burrell. From
last time by a 123.6. Everyone else around Burrell was in a 121. So something did happen that lap. Now this track, we've talked about this before, it's fun to drive. You get yourself into a rhythm. But do you get yourself sometimes it's so much into a rhythm that you just kind of zone off and you eventually kind of lose yourself in a trance?
Yeah.
So, lack of a better way to say it, yeah.
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, at least it happens to me from time to time. Not necessarily always, but you are so, like you said, zoned in that you're going through emotions automatically that sometimes you definitely lose, a little bit of, what am I doing? Like, you're not really processing it. And that can potentially lead to some incidents. Burrell gets very close to the wall there.
Well, if you're just joining us, welcome back. Thanks for joining us here on RaceWear. This is round 11. So next week is Championship Saturday when we go to Pocono. This is round 11 of the 40 RaceWear IndyCar Series opened. Top split here on Saturday. And we want you to click the bell, subscribe to the channel, click the bell. Give us the old thumbs up if you would, don't mind there. And also do want to talk about today's sponsor. It's 40 RaceWear. Check out their made-for-sim racing line of gloves, shoes, and apparel. Visit them today at 40racewear.com or click on the link in the description. Check out some of their wear, some good stuff there. Back to action, and 22 of 46 in the books.
Yeah, no, I wanted to say that Christian Hilder went by Adam Crane last time, but we didn't catch him in time. But now there is a battle for the lead. Phil Krause is now 0.7 of a second behind Adam Blocker there. Remember, he's on the alternate tire, still a little bit faster, and he is really heavy. Remember, when they left the pits, there was a 4-second difference. It's down to half a second.
Well, we're going to watch this battle.
So last time by 121.7 for Blocker and a 121.1 for Krause. So that's 0.6. I'm sure he's gonna try and attack right now. Hit it while it's hot.
Yeah, there's only a finite amount of time left on those red tires. He needs to get the job in the pass done here, and then try to make some distance.
Yeah, and for the last thing, they're gonna be in. They're probably both gonna go to the primary tire.
Look at him dive so much deeper into the pin there. And let's ride on Krause, and let's see here. Beyond the button. No, he's not.
Oh, I thought he would.
Not close enough. Now, that's a defensive line. That's all legal. Now, what would not be legal is if you saw Krause move to the inside and then you saw Blocker block him. That would be illegal. So you're allowed to make one move, and then of course if you cannot make any more moves based upon what your opponent does behind you. So he's right there.
Oh man, he was very close to that rear left tire. Still 10 pushes at the bottom, so Blocker hasn't really touched it, and Phil Krause has 9, so only once. Very similar in that world.
Sometimes you don't need to push the button when you're that fast already. It's like It's an unfair advantage, but also, I mean, keep in mind, the more you push that button, it does impact fuel mileage, but it's not necessarily push to pass. It's also push to defend, so we'll see if he pushes to defend. We're still going to have another pit stop to go to finish this race out, so we'll see what happens here. Currently riding along Philip Kraus. You're watching two of the pros here in the community. You're going to find too many drivers better than these two right here fighting it out.
Power Slide versus Private Label Team Hype. And now Kraus is on the bottom. He's going to try and make it happen right now.
Walker's going to make him go around the high side. That's the long way around. He's going to get a run. Walker squeezes a little bit. Is he going to be clear to turn into the chicane? I think he is. And you just witnessed a pass on a real pro there. Two pros.
And now both are on the bottom again. Blocker was trying to make a little bit of a switch back here.
Walker's going to send it into one. And the two.
Both locking up a little bit.
Kraus was in the best position in both of those turns to come out in the lead. Now in the three. This battle's not done yet, guys. Don't go anywhere. Kraus actually pops up on three wheels on that one. I saw the left front getting the airborne a little bit. Pops up over those curves.
Yeah, and I think at this point what Blocker wants is just to stay close to him. Because, you know, he still has a tire advantage on, you know, the alternate that are a little bit faster. But they're going to fall off. So if he's able to just stay close, that's fine. That's all he needs.
And they've already met the regulations for their... actually, Blocker I don't think has. I think Blocker went... no, did he go soft?
Yeah, he started on the alternate and then moved to the primary. Yeah,
so he'll probably go back to the softs for his final stop, and we'll probably see Kraus stick to the softs on his final stop.
Yeah, honestly, I think when I was, you know, when we first started watching this, I thought that they were going to go and ditch the alternates like super quickly. They were able to make them work for around 15, 17 laps. Yeah. So I'm sure that they're going to go to the alternates.
Yeah, I'm showing both have done a compound change for sure. So you'll see then the last stop will be light tanks and sticky red tires. You know what that means. It's Red Bull hot lap time.
Yeah, and a lot of push to pass to burn, so they're going to be blistering fast through these curves.
Now, on that last stop, speaking of push to pass, if they're going to have all those button pushes left, do you put a little extra in the tank so you can use the button? Or you do put the minimum in the tank to save on weight?
No, I would definitely put a little bit more fuel just so that I can burn it happily. Because otherwise, then you're left with a weapon that you cannot really use. So if somebody else decides to go ahead and do that, then you're just a sitting duck because he's like, well, I can make my fuel number, but I cannot use the bottom to either attack or defend myself. So I would just go ahead and add a little bit more.
Kraus stretching it out, 5/10 now. Trying to break the draft there, Blocker a little bit. Ducks to the inside, slides through the chicane of champions, let's call it that. Blocker now back in more direct contact.
Now, last time by, Blocker was a couple tenths faster than Kraus. So again, he just needs to stay there.
So I'm thinking that maybe Blocker has a little bit more downforce in this more technical area, and then when we start getting on the longer straights, we see Kraus starting to pull away as maybe less downforce for Kraus.
Yeah, it definitely seems that way because Kraus is able to go a little bit faster there, so he doesn't have a lot of drag. And if you change the wing angle a tiny bit, that's going to help with having that additional downforce for faster cornering.
Yeah.
But hit it a little bit on straight line speed.
Although last time by, Kraus a 122.1, Blocker 121. So he was faster, even though he was right behind him. Blocker was faster.
And now we are, basically in range for the last pit stop. They can pit whatever they want. So if Blocker at some point decides, like, you know what, I'm not going to be following him around, he could go ahead and try and sharp pit a little bit to get into those alternates earlier.
Those two slow cars were so close to one another on the straight. It was like one car And then the other one was like fitting right behind in the shadow. There's like one car coming down the straight almost.
They stand by 1/10 quicker for Kraus. 121.8 versus Blocker's 121.9.
Charlie Sears has the best seat in the house right now. We'll flip to his in-car. He gets to watch those two in front of him. They believe Sears just made his last stop.
Yeah, he went into the pits 2 laps ago, so he just came out right behind this battle.
This is still actually. There's another battle on the racetrack we'll take a look at. Carey and Burrell is pretty close at the moment, right there. Those two going through the last chicane before getting into the pin here. I would imagine Carey's setup is very similar to Blocker's, not identical, but probably similar.
Yeah. And Burrell is on the bottom. No, Carey is on the bottom. See how fast they get, close to each other. But yeah, he wasn't
took a peek. Took a peek.
Yeah, and good on Burrell. I mean, he was able to, get away from whatever that happened to him, where he lost a ton of time. Now he's lapping, his usual lap times, but Carey is coming. In the meantime, just not to get away from this battle, Blocker and Kraus, they had pretty much identical lap times, 1:16 for both of them.
Yeah, I got two really good battles. Yeah, two really good battles on the course at the moment, separated with about the same difference, about 5/10 on each one of the battles. You see Carey and Burrell at 4/10 right now. You see Blocker and Kraus at 6/10 right now. We'll try to keep the cameras on both. But the battle is for the lead at the moment. And Kraus has Matt Taylor just up the road from him. And we'll see how he navigates that car.
Yeah, Taylor just left pit lane.
So Taylor is done for today pitting.
I think Burrell is coming. Carey getting really close to him.
And yes, Burrell straight ahead.
So the first one of the satellite guys pitting in, and he's going to be done. Last pit stop for today for Kevin Burrell.
Right on the roll bar to his stall.
Will Weiser behind him also pitting in.
Yep, it'd be more fun if we could see the actual pit members animated for his stop, but he's up on that pneumatic jacks, going to the alternate tires, light tanks. Okay, time to put up some big laps there, buddy. We'll be watching Kevin Burrell's time. Here you see the rowing basin in the background. Montreal, and there we see Kraus pitting.
Yep, and Blocker's getting out.
And don't lock tires up and speed there. Montreal, the second largest French-speaking city in the world.
Tu veux parler français?
No. No. Ich spreche ein bisschen Deutsch. Das ist nicht. Ja.
Nein. And now Blocker, he's going to have to go for it and let a really, really fast time.
Let's ride on. We'll see if he goes to that button a couple times. That is Matt Taylor and the Mad Works car right in front of him.
That should help him, actually.
I think it would, yeah.
A little bit of draft. Yep.
He's not really in that draft window yet. Now he is. The second and a half. Matt takes to the inside, letting Blocker go.
A very, very nice move there.
Yeah, Matt's a pro. He's a pro's pro for sure.
And Blocker takes that hairpin and hits the apex perfectly. That was a really, really clean corner. Now we'll see. I'm not sure if he's going to pit here. I mean, he could potentially go a little longer, although I don't think he would benefit from doing that.
There he goes. Pit road. Don't speed, don't speed, don't speed. There we go. I call Adam the Dark Knight because his car always reminds me of the Batmobile. But I mean, you could almost call him, to give another nickname, Mr. Perfect, because pretty much he is spot on perfect just about every time he gets behind the wheel. Of course, we're all human. We all make mistakes, but Adam makes fewer of them than most. Certainly me.
For sure. Yeah, no, and if you compare him to us mortals, we're way, way far off. Kraus made it by.
Yeah, Kraus made it by. We're watching right now. We're sticking along with Adam. Here, Adam, no!
Oh, Adam!
Cold tires!
And you know what? You jinxed him.
Sorry, Adam. Adam is the community representative, liaison, what have you, for the between the IndyCar community and the and iRacing for the open side of things. He might just tell me, yeah, you know what? You don't need to broadcast the second split. And if you do, just don't cover me.
Man, that's such a bummer. I'm sure that he saw Kraus coming and he was like, I gotta gun this. And then it was a little bit too much, especially on turn 2.
We'll see if he puts in some time. I mean, I don't think this lap, of course, is going to be a good one. Of course, that was his out lap. But this next lap should be a big one. And this lap for Kraus should be a big one. Last time by, Kraus was a 120. I don't have that one right now. Just flipped off the screen. We'll see what Kraus does this time.
Yeah, 135, but that was with pitted. Oh, Blocker got really, really upset there.
Kraus, 120.015. Went purple. Went purple for Kraus. So Blocker now, I think Blocker next time might have equally as fast lap. We'll see.
So this is his pit in or pit out lap, 137.6. Kraus's was 135.6 as well. So that's a 2-second difference between Kraus and Blocker on the pit exit time. Advantage to Kraus. And then Blocker got a little squirrely there off the Wall of Champions. So he hit the curb, the car flew a little bit, got it super unsettled. But now it's up time to, regroup and lay down some fast laps, which we know it's going to happen.
Yeah, pit times, Kraus 31.6 in the lane, 8.3 in the box. Blocker 31.3 in the lane, 8.1 in the box. So we'll see. Oh, Blocker lights up the right front there going into the pin. The car shifts weight.
But he also has 9 of the pushes of the bottom left.
Yeah, he does.
So that's also going to help, especially on this long straightaway, the casino straight. He should be able to maybe starting next lap using them, every single lap. Let's see, last time by 126 for Kraus.
120.6, yep. 120.7, so he loses a 10th. Give or take.
Yeah, which could be, again, part of, that car getting a little unsettled on exit of turn 13. That didn't help keep all the momentum that it could. So I'm sure that this one is going to be a little faster for Blocker.
Well, keep an eye on him. Your top 5 is Kraus, Blocker, Hildegard, Crane, and Hubler. We'll get through the field here momentarily. Coming up to 10 to go here. Watching Adam Blocker, see if this might be the purple lap of the session. Red tires, light tanks. All-star driver behind the wheel. You know it's going to be a big one.
And, kind of driving with a chip on his shoulder. I'm sure that he's not happy with himself for, staying on that grass a little bit and losing a couple of seconds. He's on the bottom, as we expected.
Yeah, if there's any bigger critic than himself, I'd be surprised. Down the main straight there. Up to about 181 miles an hour before he hits the braking zone.
So close to that wall, but that was perfect. So 129 for Kraus, and that was a
120.2
for Blocker.
Yeah,
I was about to mention, when things settled, there was like a 5-second difference between Kraus and Blocker. It's down to 4.1. So he's coming. Not sure if he's going to have the time, because Kraus is also really, really good, really, really fast. And we saw that on Monday's race. Kraus put on a clinic, and Blocker was very close behind him. But you never know. You have to run all the laps before saying somebody has definitely earned a win or something like that.
Couple of programming notes before we lose track of time here. Tomorrow, 10:30 a.m., will be the VOR DW12 Championship. We'll be covering that. They'll be next to last round. That will be Pocono for them. And then later that night, Dark Horse Season 7 debuts here on Race First and their DW12 series as they kick off at Kansas. That will be about approximately 8 o'clock, I believe. It's all on the page. Just make sure, click the bell, get the reminders. That will be tomorrow. And then Monday, if all goes well, we get a good car count. ISRA Truck Series, covering trucks on Monday. And then Tuesday is Championship Tuesday, as we enter the 12th week of the iRacing season for the Fixed Series, as it moves to its final race at Michigan. And that is going to be epic.
It sure will. I hope I don't have to put another Tokyo Drift moment there. Hey, at least I brought the excitement to that race.
You were Tokyo drifting it. In your race, it's like, hold it. You were doing everything but wrecking, which was awesome.
Yeah, no, that was fun. Last time by update, 121.3 for Kraus, 120.7 for Blocker. They're now in equal conditions regarding the push pass situation. They both have 7. Now Kraus uses it, Blocker also in the bottom. I'm sure that they're gonna try and use it. Well, they cannot use it every single lap.
Now they're both on the button at the moment, and Kraus has Hayward in front of him that he can actually use for a little drafting help on these longer straights. Real quick, also, before we get into the final moments of this race, I want to point out also RaceFirst is looking for social media manager. If someone's interested in helping RaceFirst with their social media presence, feel free to join the RaceVerse Discord and hit me up at a DM. Currently also looking for substitute broadcasters and substitute commentators. Also, if I think you fit the bill there, hit me up on the RaceFirst Discord and we'll talk. Been a big season. We gotta have racing almost on every night when we get to our peak. IndyCars are back, baby.
Yeah, and doing this is so much fun. Hopefully, we get some new talent to help us here.
Me and you, we're gonna have to possibly get our really comfy chairs coming up here in about 2 weeks when the IIS takes over. That's the IndyCar iRacing Series. 100% length races except for Indianapolis. Every single week, or at least when the NTT IndyCar Series is running that week, you'll see the IIS here on RaceFirst, and we'll be kicking off at Sebring here very soon. And don't forget, everybody, we also have a time change coming up too. So a lot of our, especially our official races, they're going to move back an hour. So these 1 o'clocks are going to be 2 o'clocks, and the 7:15s on Tuesdays are going to be 8:15s. But Kraus encountering some lap traffic at the moment. I'm sure Adam likes to see this. Olivia doesn't. She wants to get out of the way. Oh, good job. She was trying to break a little bit late and wanted to be clear of that. And, sometimes we're not all mind readers. And luckily, both of those guys are pros at what they do.
Yeah, last time by very similar at 121.3 for Kraus, 121.2 for Blocker, but Kraus had to burn one of his push pants buttons, so he is down to 5 to 6 for Blocker.
Well, let me ask you something. He has that buffer behind him of now 2.5 seconds. I mean, I would imagine Olivia through the grass trying to let Blocker on by. There we go. Trying to be good etiquette there, but I'm sure Blocker did not want to see a car in front of him head to the grass.
No, I'm sure he didn't. He's now on the bottom.
But I mean, to Olivia's credit, she's just trying to get out of the way, folks. This is not indicative of the way she drives. We call her Miss Excitement for a reason. But do you think that Kraus doesn't have to drive as hard, whereas Blocker has to drive harder and he wears off those red tires faster?
I'm sure. Like I'm seeing, especially in the World Champions and turns 3 and 4, Blocker is so close to the wall, like right on the limit. He's doing a fantastic job, of course, but just one tiny bad move and that's it. And on the other part, like you said, the tire wear, that's going to come into play. If you really push these tires to their limit every single lap, they're going to try and, they're going to wear a little bit more. But, so far it doesn't seem to be making a difference for Blocker as he's faster in every single lap. Last time by, 122 flat for Kraus, 121.1 for Blocker. The difference is down to 2 seconds now.
The last 5 laps, for that matter, the last 5 lap average is Kraus a 121.3, Blocker a 120.8.
On the other hand, Blocker's running out of time. It's lap 41 already. We're going to be coming to 5 to go. So it's going to be close. Blocker on the bottom again. He's got that's actually a good move. He's going to be very close to Krauser, and he's potentially going to get drafted in the next, not in the next lap, but perhaps if he keeps the pace, the lap after this one.
All right, button pushes left. 5 for Kraus, 4 for Blocker. Use them up, then they're Winchester. Smoke them if you got them. You can't take them with you to the next race.
121.6 for Kraus, 121.3 for Blocker.
I am looking forward to the whenever IndyCar finally gets these hybrids and what they want to do with them installed, and then we see them hopefully in sim. The fact that we can have 2 types of push to pass. We got a battery and then also the regular push to pass. And then you could also combine the 2 like a double punch combo on Street Fighter. And I hope I understood them right. I hope I understood them right when they said that you could do that. But yeah, just double punch combo. Everyone's got to have a quick button push that they have to do on their wheels now. A little up down action.
That's so cool. So now, Phil Kraus is coming up to some lap traffic. There's Matt Taylor. We know that he's, has great etiquette, and he's probably going to get out of the way. But at the end of the day, he's probably going to see where he is.
Yeah, you can see where he is. He's going to say to the inside of the track here. Probably going to have Kraus stuck behind, try to get a little bit of a draft pull to get a little bit of a slingshot action. Both are on the button there.
And what a move from Matt.
Good job on him.
Yeah, I don't want to be part of this mess. You guys go ahead. So the difference now is 1.2 seconds. Remember when they went out of the pits and there was a 5-second difference? Well, that's all what evaporated. Last time by, Phil Kraus 121.4 to Adam Blocker's 121 flat. So he's still making those alternate tires work. He's really, really fast.
Last 5 for Kraus, a 121.5. Blocker, a 121.1. Last 10 for both these guys. Kraus, a 121.3. Blocker, a 121.1.
But now, there's also an advantage to Kraus. He has one more push at the bottom left. And then there is the other part, the old racing adage. One thing is to catch somebody.
And another thing is to pass. You're right. Absolutely correct. And, these got to be 2 of the hardest guys to pass in all of the community, to be honest. So we're going to watch 2 of the real aces try to outduel each other here in the closing laps. Saturday's Strength of Field race for the IndyCar Open Series. Thanks for joining us. Make sure to click that thumb for the like. Make sure to subscribe, ring the bell. And then if you're feeling generous, you can always compensate your commentary team here for donations. Of course, we do this free for only donations on a weekly basis. Check us out. GoFundMe link is in the description. Would appreciate it. 3 to go.
We would definitely appreciate it. 3 to go and under a second. But there is a big caveat here. Jim Krause still has 4 presses at the bottom. Blocker's under 2.
And lap traffic coming into play. I suspect Charlie will probably duck out of the way. There is Charlie and the self-sponsored Sears car.
That is such a great pun.
I believe back in the day, I don't think Sears ever sponsored an IndyCar, but I believe they did, or they were maybe a minor sponsor on AJ Foyt. AJ Foyt always seemed to have Craftsman, Die Hard, all those type of sponsors on his car back in the day, if I remember right. Of course, those are all former brands of the Sears company.
Right.
And yeah, he's going to go way to the inside, get off the accelerator, let those two on by. Excellent position to do that. Great etiquette on Sears there. Thanks a lot for, I'm sure those drivers are thanking him. Now we're 8/10, 2 laps to go.
And, last time by, that was interesting. Blocker didn't use any of his pushes.
Probably knows he needs to say those.
Yeah, Krause did, but Blocker was still fastest. Faster, 300s, but still a little bit faster.
We don't want to forget about anybody else. The battle is for the lead, and that's what we're currently watching. Although there is a battle brewing between Burrell and Carey for 6th. Burrell 6/10 back on Carey, but it's Krause, Blocker, Hildegard, Crane, Hubler, Carey, Burrell is your top 7 currently in battle with one another right now. But we're watching the battle for the win. This is for the win. A lap and a half to go.
I think they're going to both be on the button.
On the button, both of them down the casino straight. They will get up in the neighborhood of 180 plus miles an hour before hitting the braking zone. 181, 182, 183. We saw for Blocker before getting to the braking zone.
Oh man, he gets so close to the world championship.
That's kind of Blocker's MO, is he uses every inch available of the racetrack. And I believe he had a YouTube video out there kind of talking about how to do some of these tracks and how to drive these cars. And he did talk about, you can use every inch of the racetrack to your advantage, and he does.
And I mean, you've paid for the whole track, you better use the whole track.
Right. But hey, folks, while you're watching this, I know you got the whole seat, but you only need the edge, because we're round to the last lap right here between Krause and Blocker. Who's going to pull it out here?
I was sure that Field was going to use one of his buttons here, but no. So they're both going to be using it, exiting the hairpin. I don't think there's anything that Blocker can do, honestly.
I think Blocker is going to really dive deep here into the pin area as best he can, like that. And he's going to be on the button out of the pin, and that's about his last chance right there.
Yeah,
both are on the button.
Yeah, Field also on the button.
Blocker, Winchester. Blocker has one if he needed to use it again, but he doesn't look like he needs to. Heading into the final chicane, down the rowing basin straight there, into the Wall of Champions, exit the Wall of Champions, and now he's staring at the checkered flag. Phil Krause, your winner here in Montreal.
Man, what a drive by Phil Krause. And I know we were kind of focusing there on Blocker because he is the one that had to make that 5-second difference, but masterful performance from Krause. And I think I told you at the beginning of the race, I was like, oh man, Phil Krause is gonna dominate.
Yeah, when you saw him, he was going to be in the lineup. You're like, oh, this is Krause's race. Watching the final cars of the top 10, Carey, Burrell. Michael O'Brien's currently on the casino straight, getting into the chicane. And he will finish, Emma will finish 8th. Will Weiser will come home 9th as the last car on a lead lap as he pops those curves. All right, let's take a look at this final results here from Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal. Phil Krause, your winner. Blocker, P2. Hildegard, P3. Crane and Hubler, P4 and 5. That's your top 5. Carey, Burrell, Emo, Weiser, Sears, your top 10. Matt Taylor, Olivia Hayward, Flukinger, Beer, and Reina, your top 15. I believe that might be the entire field. We'll see you on the page. Alan Boutreau, 16th, actually.
That was a very fun race.
Purple lap was Kraus. He did that 120.0 there right after his last pit stop. So he has the purple lap there. That's good for him. Little bragging rights. But let's see if anyone pops in for an interview.
In the meantime, what a fun race, and the track itself is really, really fun to drive. I was telling my wife the other day that maybe the race was not going to be as exciting, but for us as drivers, it was going to be a blast. And I'm sure that all this field had a blast driving it. But we also got a great show. That battle for the last 15 laps or whatever between Kraus and Blocker was some of the best racing I've seen. Super, super clean battling for those drivers.
Yeah,
and very happy that we got to witness that.
Yeah, like I said, they are pros. I mean, I said it for a number of days. This is the top split for a reason. These guys and gals have all worked really hard on the sim to get their iRating to a point that they can, get into these top splits, to be trusted to race close with their other fellow competitors. Really nobody in this race, you can really sleep on anybody in these races. Even some of the people that we're talking about earlier that are used to like the GT3 or GT type car, and they're just trying out IndyCar for the first time. Everybody is skilled in their own area here, especially when you get to the top split. So good on everyone here. We do have Adam Blocker waiting for an interview. We will bring him in right now and speak with him. Hey, Adam, we got you up here in the booth. It's me and Antonio. You were closing, just not enough time there at the end.
Yeah, I made 2 mistakes on my outlap that cost me 2 seconds in total. So, I slid off at turn 2 on cold tires, and then I almost died. I don't know how I didn't die. And the wall of champions on my outlap was like sideways, and anyway, all kind of ugly. So, yeah, I thought about undercutting him going into the last stops, but I figured that would be a bigger risk because he can follow the lap after, and our cold tire outlap pace wasn't great, so I wasn't confident that I'd be able to get him, especially because I would have to compromise pit in, because normally you can go full throttle in there, but I was so close to him that I would have to lift or something. So yeah, I don't know. It was a tough one, but I figured I had better long run pace on reds, so I figured I could get him, and I probably could have if I didn't cost myself.
Well, I mean, don't bang your head against the wall too much. I mean, let's talk about the championship next. I mean, you did finish ahead of your closest competitor, which is Kevin Burrell. Kevin had a consistent race. You can always expect Kevin in the top 10. He's up there in the top 10 again. He finished 7th. So you did make some distance up on him going into the final race next week in Pocono. With that said, I mean, you have a pretty sizable lead. I mean, what do you think your chances are for the championship? Because right now you may have lost in your mind this battle right here, but the war is still very much in your control.
Yeah, I mean, doing the math, Kevin would have to do some really crazy things at Pocono to have a chance. I think he would need to score almost 280, 290 if I scored 0. And all I need is a score of above 110 or 120 to beat my worst score. So pretty confident that, as long as I put one good race in there, that I'll be good. I can't make the Monday race next week, so I'll just be relying on this one probably for my big points, but
we'll try.
Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, I feel good either way. And I like how Pocono races, always enjoy it. We have a good setup there. So looking forward to it.
Before we let you go, any shout outs that you want to say hi to before we sign off?
Yeah, I just want to thank Brian, my teammate, for the help. We kind of built these setups together, and I got pole for this race, and normally this sort of track is not a track where I can qualify well, but yeah, we obviously had a good setup, and I think we had a equal, Phil and I were basically equal on race pace. As we proved 2 races this week, we finished within a second of each other, so yeah, So thanks to them, and yeah, thanks for y'all calling the race. And yeah, it was a really good race. Good turnout.
Well, good to be here, and thanks to see you here as well. But thanks for showing up, and congratulations on the P2. But your P1 in the championship still, and that's what I think really matters at the end of the day. And we'll see you next week at Pocono.
See you then.
A little hard on himself. He basically boiled it down to 2 seconds. That really cost him between a Monday race and a Monday race win and a Tuesday race win. I mean, it's just 2 seconds, 2 blinks of an eye. And that what separated him from possibly winning these 2 races.
Yeah, and we kind of call it out, right? We were talking about the outlaps and that there was like a 2-second difference between them. Unfortunately, that was the difference. Unfortunately for Adam, fortunately for Phil, that was the difference between them today. But, still, they put on a great race. It's so good to see them race at the limit and use every inch of the track.
Next week, Pocono, I know that you're pretty good there. But you'll be in the booth with me, hopefully.
Well, I mean, I don't know a lot about setting up cars, so I'm happy running in the fixed series. I do have a good track record, a couple of wins there at Pocono. But yeah, we'll be very, very happy to call that race. Not sure what the conditions are going to be, but if they're a little bit hotter, that's going to make it quite interesting. Like, you can make the top work, especially in turn 3. And also in 1, you can pretty much drive anywhere, and with the open setup, you can do whatever it is that you want. So I'm looking forward to a very, very interesting race, especially on the strategy side. It's not necessarily side-by-side action all the time. That's not what Pocono is known for. You can still get some great racing, and you're gonna see a lot of strategy goals there.
Well, the track is known. It was built for IndyCar racing. They use 3 primarily IndyCar tracks to construct that track. They modeled turn 1 after turn 1 at Trenton. Turn 2 is one of the turns at Indianapolis, and turn 3 is one of the turns at Milwaukee. And sadly, the IndyCars aren't back there right now. They should go back there, hopefully, but we shall see. But we're going to see them in the virtual world next week right here, and I am excited too. But Antonio, thanks for joining us. We had a great race, great call on your part. I think you called it early. You said Kraus was going to be here, and you said you could already kind of feel the excitement loading into the series. So great call on your part, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, man. See you next week. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Hopefully you had a great time, as much a good time as we did up here.
That's it for today. Once again, your podium from Montreal. Phil Kraus is your winner. Make sure no one popped into that interview room right at the last minute. Nope. He must be on to another engagement. Adam Blocker, thank him for joining us. P2 and Christian Hildegard. Surprised we didn't see him in an interview room. Maybe he's got something else to do after as well. Lots of stuff going on right now this weekend on iRacing. I think we still got another 12 hours of Bathurst, I think, is also going on this week. So maybe these guys are running those races. But nevertheless, we congratulate them on the podium performance here at Montreal. Join Antonio and myself again next week for round 12 and Championship Saturday as we crown a champ in the IndyCar Open Series for Season 1 of 2024 at Pocono. Coverage begins around 1 p.m. Eastern, and that's 1 p.m. Eastern. As always, you can find everything here on YouTube at youtube.com/RaceFirst. Hey, these programs are not cheap, and they're hard to make, and what we need to do is we need your backing in order to bring these videos and broadcasts to you. Make sure to go to the GoFundMe link in the description and donate to the broadcast. We would greatly appreciate it. We realize times are tough, but anything you can spare would always make our productions that much better. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not easy, so please help support RaceFirst with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below and let us know what you thought of today's race, and if you enjoyed today's coverage, support us by smashing like in the video. Above all, if you're new, click subscribe, and while you're at it, hit the bell for weekly reminders so don't miss out on more of Race versus other iRacing programming. We talked about it. We got trucks coming up. We got DW12 Series coming up. We still have the Championship Tuesday of the Indy Fixed Series coming up. We got the FIS returning here real soon. You name it, it's all going to be here for IndyCar action right here on Race First. Keep your browser set here for the most in-depth IndyCar knowledge on all of iRacing. Race First, we know what Indy means. Top split naming rights are paid for by 4D RACEWEAR. Check out our friends at 40 Racewear and their line of made-for sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparel. Visit them today at 40racewear.com or click on their link in the stream description. For business inquiries to learn more about Raceverse and what we do, visit raceverse.com or like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter. You can follow all of us on Twitter via our handles right here at the bottom of the screen. So, for Antonio Estrada, everyone at Raceverse, I'm Gary Gotzo saying to all, good night or good day. Thanks for watching. And to all our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Catch us again right here for next week for Championship Saturday at Pocono for the next race of 40 Racewear Saturday IndyCar Open Series Top Split. Good night.